What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching The Important Things That Really Matter. Today, we're going to continue on in our series of what to look for in a wife. What to look for in a wife. And before we get into it, would you please like, would you please share, and would you please subscribe? Because I'm trying to get the channel to grow. Giving a lot of very useful information that will end up saving you thousands upon thousands of dollars if you watch my videos. So anyway, we're going to continue on in what to look for in a wife. And today we're going to be specifically talking about peace. Does that wife bring you peace, or does that wife bring you confusion? Does the wife bring you peace, or does that woman bring you confusion? This is extremely important subject that you need to take into consideration greatly about what to look for in a wife. Not just applies here in the United States, it applies in Canada, it applies all over the world. And of course, the first thing that you want to do with somebody that you're possibly considering being your wife is talk to them on any number of subjects. But the main important subjects you want to talk with them about is what they feel and how they feel about marriage, what they feel and how they feel about motherhood, what they feel and how they feel about cooking and cleaning and having children and all those particular things. You need to take all these things into consideration. And it's extremely important that you find somebody that brings peace to your life and not confusion. Once again, it's extremely important for you to find somebody that brings peace to your life and not a bunch of confusion. Peace and not confusion. If you are with a person that's argumentative, domineering, or controlling, it's going to cause you a bunch of problems. And there are men right now, who have unfortunately got themselves in marriages where the wife may be controlling or very domineering. What I mean by that, okay, the wife asks the man or the husband to do this, and then he does, and then she asks him to do something else, and then he does, and then she asks him to do other things, and he does those things for her. Okay, and then when the man asks the wife, well, could you do this for me, or could you do that for me? She's got an attitude. Got a bad attitude. Anytime the man asks her to do something for him, it's the attitude, but she don't have an attitude when she's asking the husband or the boyfriend to do stuff for her. You got to remember this, and this is extremely important. If you look in the Bible says, it's not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helpmate for him. The question that you have to ask yourself, if you are marrying somebody or considering marrying somebody, is this person a help to you, or is this person a hindrance to you? Once again, is this person a help to you, or is this person a hindrance to you? Because if you look in the Bible, based upon the Creator said it's not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. So your wife has got to be a help to you, not a hindrance, not a liability. When you go home, do you have to walk on eggshells when you're at home? That's an important subject to ask yourself. Very important subject, because some men have not been taught what to look for in a wife. And if they have not been taught what to look for in a wife, they end up marrying the wrong person that's got a whole lot of bad qualities that will bring that person down. And so, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, if you're with somebody and they're always arguing with you about stuff, they're always combative, they always got some smart stuff to say, always. When you're around this person, you always feel like you got to tiptoe around on eggshells because you don't want to get in no conversation with nobody because the conversations always turn into an argument. Well, basically, in a nutshell, you might be dealing with a person that's domineering, controlling. You might be dealing with a person that's contentious, which is in the Bible. What is a contentious person? A contentious person is a person who's argumentative, want to argue about everything, want to fight about everything, always got some smart thing to say. And I'm telling you, if you are a man and you're dealing with somebody that doesn't bring you peace, and they're always argumentative, always combative, always got some smart thing to say, I'm telling you right now, you want to leave that person alone. Leave them alone now. Don't even give them a reason why you left them alone. Let somebody else deal with your problem that you had. If you're dealing with somebody like that right now, and you love that person, but you may have been dumb enough to have kids by them, you might still want to leave them alone. Leave them alone, still take care of your kids, but you might want to leave that person alone as somebody that may be a potential wife for you. But I'm telling you, hopefully you don't have any children by people that's argumentative, combative, want to fight, and want to keep up a bunch of mess, okay? Hopefully you haven't had any children by a person like that. And there are men out there that do have children by a person. Whew. Everything I'm telling you about right now, you will find in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs. It states in the book of Proverbs, it is better for a man to be on a rooftop, to live on the rooftop of a house, or to live in the wilderness, than to be in a house with a contentious woman. A contentious woman is a woman who is argumentative. Could be that the woman is controlling and domineering. It could be a person with a nasty attitude, a person that you cannot even have a conversation with without it turning into an argument. It could be a woman that's easily influenced by other women. And see, the woman's friends could be causing you a bunch of problems in your marriage or in your relationship. Not too long ago, somebody was telling me about a couple that had been married for almost 50 years. This man went out there, worked hard to take care of his wife, worked hard to take care of his children, worked hard to do all of these things for his wife and his family and his children. His wife's girlfriend got a divorce from her husband. And the man knew right after her divorce that she was going to influence his wife to divorce him, which is exactly what she did. She allowed her girlfriend to influence her to leave her husband. Do you hear me? That's why, ladies, many times, ladies, it is very, very important that you don't have any single friends, because many times other women's female friends are jealous of you, ladies, because you're in a relationship and they're not in a relationship. Or you have somebody that wanted to marry you, but nobody wants to marry them for whatever particular reasons. Ladies, you have to understand that there are many of your girlfriends that are jealous of the fact that you're in a relationship and that you're in a good relationship. Keep in mind that your single girlfriends, they may try to throw monkey wrenches in your relationships and destroy your relationships to get you out there in the street, cause you all type of problems, to cause your marriage or your relationship with your man to fall apart. There was a woman that was married, and I would say she probably was happily married, but she had a single girlfriend that more than likely was jealous of her. Her girlfriend would fall up under the classification of a 304. If you don't know what a 304 is, go ask somebody. Somebody will tell you what a 304 is. Anyway, this woman had a girlfriend who was a 304. In other words, a woman that's out in the street all the time, convinced this married woman to go to one of these underground parties. Okay? Now, like I said before, the woman's married. She convinced her girlfriend convinced this woman, who was a married woman, happily married woman, to go to one of these underground parties. Okay? Well, while her husband was out of town. Fair use, fair use, fair use. The girlfriend influenced the wife to go to one of these underground parties while the husband was out of town. The wife gets to the underground party. It was one of those underground parties, which was actually where you go there and you take all your clothes off. But before you take all your clothes off, you got to submit medical records showing that you don't have AIDS, you don't have HIV, you don't have any other diseases. So before you can even get into this type of underground party, you got to submit medical records showing that you don't have AIDS, you don't have HIV, you don't have herpes, you don't have any STDs, transmitted diseases, okay? You got to submit this information before you even get into this underground party. Well, anyway, all this information was submitted. They supposedly were clear and free. They don't have no sicknesses, diseases, or anything like that. They go to this underground party, which basically was it was one of those type of parties that you go there with no clothes on, and you take all your clothes off in this room, you put all your clothes in this one particular area, and you go into this main area. And in this main area, everybody is screwing around with everybody on the couch, screwing around with everybody on the floor, screwing around with everybody on tables, chairs, wherever, okay? Everybody is screwing around with everybody. And so this particular woman allowed her girlfriend, who is a 304, to take her to this underground party. Now, at this underground party, I just described what happens. Everybody is butt naked at this underground party. To make a long story short, and by the time she left this underground party, she had screwed around with about 200 men and women. Did you hear what I just said? This woman at this underground party, who was married, who was convinced by her 304 girlfriend to go to this underground party, when this married woman finally left the underground party, she had screwed around with a minimum of 200 men and women at the underground party. Do you hear what I'm saying? About 200. And this woman's husband probably doesn't know. But what the woman doesn't realize is that her 304 girlfriend pulled her into that situation. And when she got pulled into the situation, after she left this underground party, she was wishing she wasn't married. She was wishing that she found out about those type of parties before she got married. Now she's married. Now she done had all of these bodies in a 24-hour period, male and female bodies. That was she was screwing around with. Now she walks out of the party wishing that she hadn't got married, because now she wants to go to these type of parties on a regular basis now. But the problem is she's married now. But the husband don't know that she's been with about 200 people in a 24-hour period. So you already know this is going to cause a whole lot of problems in the marriage without the husband even knowing what happened to the wife when he was out of town. You follow what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making is there are girlfriends that will throw all types of monkey wrenches in a married woman's life, or a woman's life who is already in a relationship with a man. They will throw all types of monkey wrenches into their relationships because they're jealous of the fact that their girlfriend has somebody that loves them, cares for them, and wanted to marry them, or at least be in a relationship with them. And they're having problems with the fact that nobody wants to marry them or be in a relationship with them. So these are things you need to take consideration. This is part of what I'm talking about too, as far as you need to be with somebody who's going to bring peace to your life and not confusion. There are men that have wives that when they're at home, they got to walk on eggshells. They don't want to get into an argument. Extremely important that you have somebody that you're considering marrying that brings peace to your life and doesn't bring confusion. If the person is argumentative, if the person is controlling, if the person is domineering, you don't need to be with anybody like that. There are some men that are in relationships like that are so bad that these men have to literally leave work and go to a bar and get drunk before they go home. Did you hear what I said? There are men to where their home situation is so bad, they're with somebody so argumentative, controlling, and domineering that they literally have to go to a bar or a club and get drunk before they go home just to be able to deal with their wife or girlfriend at home. I was at the doctor with a girlfriend of mine. At the time, I met this guy in the lobby. And so this guy came up to me and said, "Hey, sir, can I talk with you?" And I was sitting there and I was looking at a magazine and I wanted to read the magazine. I really didn't want to talk to nobody. And so the guy, I was like, yes, sure, sir. We can talk if you want to. And so the guy said something that was extremely interesting to me. He said, when I'm at home, I can't talk. So I'm like, what did you just say? When I'm at home, I can't talk to nobody. And so I closed the magazine and put my magazine down to hear what this guy had to say because he couldn't talk. So I'm like, what do you mean you can't talk when you're at home? And so the guy, he pulled up a chair and said, well, this is what I mean by that. I said, well, what do you mean by that? He says that he married a woman that is so argumentative, that is so combative and argumentative that he walks on eggshells every time he's at home. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, the woman's she argues about everything. It don't matter what it is. She argues about everything. And the man has no peace in his own household. You married to this woman? He said, yeah. He said, I want to talk to you because I can't talk when I'm at home. I'm like, wow. He said, because it always turns into an argument. I'm like, wow, that's absolutely crazy. So I asked him the most obvious question. Why don't you just leave the woman? Why are you staying with somebody that causes that much confusion in your life? Every time, it don't matter what the subject is, it ends up turning into an argument. So he told me why he doesn't just divorce his wife. Married previously, and when he came out of that first marriage, the woman took half of his stuff from the first marriage. Then he married this second woman thinking that she was going to be a good woman. Then found out later on she was argumentative and combative and controlling. I'm like, wow. And I said, okay, well, still, how come you don't just divorce and move on? He said he can't afford to divorce his wife. I'm like, man, are you serious? He said he cannot afford to divorce his wife. If he left his wife, he basically would be homeless. And I'm like, oh, man, that's messed up. So I let the man talk to me. I said, man, I understand. I understand you need to talk because when he's at home, he can't talk at all. And let this be an example to you or a lesson to you if you are a man. Men, keep this in mind. It is extremely important for you to be with a woman that brings you peace in your life and no confusion. Or you got to be with a woman that brings peace in your life and no confusion. And the only way that you're going to be able to tell that is by dating that particular woman, dating them over a good period of time. Usually I would say date a woman at least a year to a year and a half before you even decide to marry that person. And then watch and pray. Ask the Lord to tell you, is this the person that you should marry or is this the person that you should not marry? And ask the Lord, God Almighty, ask him to please show you that person, whether this is a person that you should marry or whether this is a person that you should leave alone and just be friends with. Matter of fact, it is written in the Bible, let the peace of God rule your heart. So that means if you're in a situation where there is no peace, then you need to leave that situation alone. Anyway, my name is Kier, and please like, please share, and please subscribe, and peace.